Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tasting with Mike and Matt. I'm Mike Veach, and this is my partner in crime, Matt Kohorst.
Howdy.
And once again, we're being joined by our fellow bourbon aficionado in training, I guess you could say, Pete Reinert.
Hello.
And today we're doing what we each feel is an underappreciated bourbon or rye in one case. And we're going to start with Old Granddad, Bottled in Bond. I think this is an underappreciated bourbon. It's what, $25 at a liquor store, but yet it still has lots of great flavor. It's easily found. You don't have to wait in line to get it or join a lottery, and it's just as good as many of those that you do have to wait in line and join a lottery or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a great bourbon, and I think let's just take a nose of it and. It's got that nice caramel, vanilla, little oak, a little bit of a kind of a cinnamon nutmeg spice.
Yeah.
And I get a little bit of like cherry or dates.
Cherry. I was getting a little citrus.
A little citrus. I've gotten that at times too. It's a very complex bourbon.
Yeah.
It's one you can enjoy very neat. You can use it in a cocktail. Makes a great old-fashioned or whiskey sour or even a good Manhattan. Very nice nose. Let's take a sip.
I got citrus.
Yeah, the citrus really comes forward in this, kind of a
lemony.
See, but I'm also still getting a little bit of that date. And I'm definitely getting that cinnamon and nutmeg spice. Lots of that rich vanilla.
I'm definitely getting that nutmeg. Yeah, a lot of vanilla. Maybe a hint of caramel in there. I don't know.
Well, the caramel, I get caramel, but it comes in on the finish.
Yeah, more on the finish. Yeah, the finish is pleasant. I really enjoy the finish. It's lingering right in the back of the throat. Yeah, I get like that caramel. It's a little bit of oak.
A little bit of oak, yeah. But it's not a tannic oak. It's more of that sweet oak.
Right. Yeah. Basically, kind of what you want out of like a classic kind of tasting bourbon.
Right.
Yeah, it's solid.
And it's what, $25 a bottle maybe at the most. I think you can find it on sale for $19.95 or something like that.
Yeah.
Great bourbon, you can enjoy neat, but if somebody wants to mix it with a Coke or something, you don't feel bad about them. Putting an expensive bourbon in with Coke, and we'll see what our cranberry does for it.
All right.
That really brought out the spice.
It spiced it up.
It really kind of made it more of a peppery spice to me.
I got pepper and a little bit of nutmeg.
A little bit of
lot of pepper.
Yeah, a lot of black pepper. This is a bottled bond, 100 proof, 4 years old, most likely just 4 years old. They don't put the when it was made and when it was bottled anymore on it, but it's all from the same distillery.
How long have they been doing this recipe for, do you think?
Well, this is one of the recipes that Jim Beam got from National Distillers when National Distillers was sold to Jim Beam. And they've been pretty true to that recipe.
Okay.
So it's a kind of what you would call a high rye bourbon. It's got like 20% rye somewhere along in there.
Okay.
it's always, even under National, it always had that little bit of a cherry, a citrus type fruitiness to it.
Yeah.
Very close to what they used to have back in the day.
Excellent. Yeah.
Just a really good bourbon. Let's see what a pecan does for it. Now that brought out the citrus.
Citrus, and I'm getting that vanilla.
And the vanilla.
Mm-hmm.
And more oak.
Right. Yeah.
Less pepper and spices. So there's still a little bit of that spice to it,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not as defined, and it's more of an oak to me.
It killed everything but oak, and it wasn't overpowering. It was just very slight oak and nothing else.
Yeah.
But
very good.
It's a
Good
pleasant
selection. Yeah, $25. That's a great deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like you said, like I've seen it for under 20. You know.
Right. Yeah.
So you get
people
it.
run it on sale for $19.95 or even $18.95 or something. And
Yeah.
My mom used to cook with it.
Yeah. And you should always cook with something you drink.
Mm-hmm.
If it doesn't taste good, you don't want to cook with it because the bad taste is going to go into your food.
Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I actually, when I cook, I either use very old Barton 100 proof bottled and bond or the old Granddad bottled and bond. Both of them for the same reason. They've got a strong enough flavor that they stand up
Yeah.
to the other flavors. You can still taste a little hint of bourbon to it.
Yeah. That chili that you make.
Yeah,
Is
that chili I make, I
that's
usually put
that's really good stuff.
Yeah. So that's my choice.
It's a
So
great
Matt,
choice.
what's your choice?
My choice, I mean, is it underappreciated? I don't know. It's cheap. But it's the Old Forester 86. I mean, if you like bourbon at all, you've definitely probably tried the Old Forester 86.
Maybe not so much outside of Kentucky.
Really? So does it not distribute as
It's
far?
distributed everywhere.
Right.
But here
That's
in Louisville,
true.
we're a little jaded because so many people work for
Yeah.
Brown Foreman.
Right. It's like a bubble. Yeah, I guess yeah.
You
I
know.
don't think outside that bubble.
So,
yeah.
it's probably not as appreciated as much outside of Louisville.
Yeah, so for anybody outside of Louisville that's never tried this, give it a shot. Inside Louisville, it's a pretty well respected $20 bourbon.
Yeah.
Very well known.
OFO.
Yeah. I did a blog, was it last month, and it was about the Four Roses Yellow Label. That was the first bourbon I really liked when I moved to Louisville, and then I discovered this, and I think I would have to say, hands down, for me, it beats out the Four Roses Yellow Label as far as like a $20 bourbon goes. Yeah, just a really solid one. Let's get a pour going. So, Mike, you know a lot about Old Forester. So, how old do you think this recipe is?
Well, this recipe definitely goes back to Prohibition, and probably back to about 1905 or so when they bought their first distillery. A lot of people don't realize Old Forester started off as a rectified whiskey. It was actually a blend of whiskeys made at the Mattingly Distillery, the Melwood Distillery, and one other, and I can't remember which one it was, but it was 3 different distilleries that George Garvin Brown was buying barrels from, and then he married them together to create Old Forester.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Yes.
All right.
So, very nice. I'm getting that caramel and bananas.
Mm-hmm.
And a little chocolate.
Maybe
I
a
get
little
I
chocolate,
get a hint of brown sugar.
a little brown sugar.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, you're right. That banana really.
Yeah. Well, Brown Foreman's known for their yeast having a lot of banana characteristics. Jack Daniels is the same way. A lot of banana.
Oh yeah, they do. Mm-hmm.
So, which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's a interesting. But if you dig deeper into this, behind that banana, I think I also get like a little bit of a ripe apple, some baking spices.
I'm getting some spice, but not the fruit.
Yeah. Of course, there's a little of oak. This is probably 4 to 6 year old whiskeys, married together to make the Old Forester. But they heat their warehouses in the winter, and they say that adds extra years of aging. It really doesn't add extra years, but it does create a different, more complex flavor, I think.
Does that mean it's soaking up more of the wood?
Yeah, it's going in and out of the wood more.
Yeah.
If you don't heat the warehouses in the winter, then the whiskey comes out of the wood and just kind of sits there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you heat it, then it starts to build up the pressure. You get whiskey evaporates, everything, and it starts forcing itself into the wood. And then you turn the heat off, and it comes back out. It brings those wood flavors with it.
Mm-hmm.
So let's taste it.
Tastes like my 30s. Yeah. This is something that probably, we drink this one so much, my friends and I, that there's a lot of memories tied to it as well, so that flavor is nostalgic almost, But I'm getting that banana, I'm getting that caramel, I'm getting that vanilla. I will say that I like the finish on the Old Grandad better than I do on the Old Forester 86. It's just more complex. I think overall, maybe upon just tasting it, the Grandad is actually a more complex drink. This one,
See, but you're looking at an 86 proof versus 100.
Right, yeah. There's an Old Forester 100 proof, which is pretty darn good.
Right.
And
it's a little more complex. It's a little more complex than this.
Mm-hmm.
But this 86 proof, it's a good, once again, very enjoyable neat.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
But you can drink it with Coke or mix it in a whiskey sour or something, and really enjoy it. It's got strong enough flavor; it's still going to come through.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So let's try it for cranberry. See what it does. Oh, that's interesting.
I love it with the cranberry.
Yeah. It's like vanilla and cherries with a hint of cinnamon. That's what I'm getting out of it.
I'm getting a lot of cinnamon.
Yeah, a lot of cinnamon.
Well, I am now on the finish.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Cinnamon and oak on the finish.
But those cherries really pop when you're on the mouth.
Yeah, the cranberry really makes it gives it kind of a cherry.
It's a very fruity drink. It really took to the cranberry well, I think. Yeah.
So that's one reason why I like Old Forester so much is I like a fruity bourbon, one that you can taste the fruit natures.
Yeah. And it still has on that finish, it has the cinnamon, and you're getting a hint of I'm still feeling it in there. It's still like a hint of oak. Overall, I mean, pretty good bourbon.
Let's see what the pecan does for it.
Burn up the banana for me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Banana and caramel.
Mm-hmm.
Banana Fosters.
Oh man, yeah. Really, what's that ice cream? The Chunky Monkey.
Chunky Monkey ice cream.
Oh man, I love that stuff. Yeah.
I really liked it with the pecan.
Yeah, I mean it's very versatile.
Yeah, I mean there's nothing not to like about Old Forester.
Yeah. So good stuff.
I agree with you. I probably wouldn't want to cook with the Old Forester compared to the Old Granddad, because I think Old Granddad is a little stronger, but that's because of the proof difference. I bet you if we tasted it against the 100 proof Old Forester, it'd be right up there with it.
Right, because with neat, when I'm tasting it neat, I think the Old Granddad is a better neat. It's the 100 proof. With the Old Forester 100 proof, we'd have to do them side by side, which could be another video. But yeah, I mean, overall, both of these are really, really good. Very cheap.
Reasonably priced. Yeah.
Yeah,
I think that you can find that on sale for like $18.99 or maybe even $16.99.
Yeah. I actually just got some the other day. $18, I think I paid for it. Yep.
There you go.
And the 100 proof is 27 or something, or is that one
24, 25, I think.
Yeah.
So there you go.
All right.
So Pete, what do you got for us?
Well, what I got was, I stayed with Old Forester, but I got the rye. It's something I found last year and pretty much just fell in love with. It's what I want out of a rye with its with the flavors.
And it just came out a couple years ago, right?
Yeah, it's a fairly new product.
Yeah.
And it's 100 proof.
100 proof.
But I mean, it's right at the same price, and I think it's just as good as something that's 2-3 times its price.
Yeah, that's a liter bottle there, and I think it was like $26 for a liter.
And they just came out with the liters. It used to be only in the smaller bottles.
Oh yeah, the 750s. Yeah, that's
750s,
right.
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think I've only recently seen them in liters. So.
Actually, I think that they came out with liters because I've had that one for quite a while.
Oh, really?
And yeah, it's a liter bottle.
Maybe just some shops didn't have it.
Yeah, that's probably the case.
But every shop should have. Every shop should carry it.
Yeah.
I
If they
love
only have
this
750, they need to get 2 bottles.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So let's taste this.
All right.
Yeah, and you gotta love Old Forester because it's got a screw cap.
Oh yeah. You're big on the screw caps.
Yeah.
If you hold on to it long enough, right?
That's right.
That cork can.
I'll tell you, I have had more bad bottles of old whiskey that had corks in it than I've had with the ones with screw caps. Screw caps is just a tighter seal that's going to preserve your whiskey longer.
Yeah. Not as fancy looking. Right.
You don't get the pop.
You don't get the pop. Yeah.
But if you have a bottle that you think you might want to hold on to for a couple of years as you sip it because you really like it, but you don't want to save it for special occasions, screw cap's going to do you better than a cork.
I had a rare breed that I was actually working on my bourbon collection today, like reorganizing it a bit, and I had a rare breed that the cork actually busted on it when I popped it open. There wasn't much left. I was just gonna actually just pour it in the glass and just finish it up, but then as I opened it, the cork just kind of disintegrated, and so there's something to the screw cap. Yeah, I mean it's a safer bet.
Yeah.
If you're holding on to something for longer.
I forgot to mention, I have 1 decanter, and it's always gonna have this in there.
Nice.
Nothing else.
Nice.
So,
All right.
So let's take nose here. Ryegrass and vanilla,
Definitely.
with a little bit of that banana still. I think it's a yeast, the Old Forester yeast.
I think you're right. Yeah.
But instead of apple, I think it's more of a peach or apricot.
I get the apricot.
I'm getting the peach.
You get peach?
I'm getting the peach on that.
Yeah. And then spice-wise, it's more of a cardamom, maybe. Kind of that citrusy smelling.
Yeah, maybe so.
I think a slight lemon.
Slight lemon, that might be the cardamom, It's got that citrusy, spicy note to it. Yeah, a little bit of oak. Well, let's taste it now. Oh, that's good.
It's a good
It's
rye.
really good.
Very good rye.
You get that rye.
You get the ryegrass, you get that vanilla caramel note,
I get a light touch of lemon.
light touch of lemon, A little bit of oak there on the end. And then on the finish, it's kind of almost like a white pepper and oak.
Yeah, it's definitely, white pepper. Mm-hmm.
But it's a light white pepper. It's not in your face.
Yeah. It just kind of like, on the finish, it just hits you real quick with that little white pepper.
On the sides of your tongue.
Yeah, and then once it gets about right here, it turns into oak. Great stuff, yeah. Lovely all the way through,
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, let's try it for cranberry, see what it does.
It also goes good with whiskey sour.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That kind of is what the cranberry kind of mimics, something more of like a fruity kind of cocktail, right? So yeah, you can tell right away that,
Yeah.
that
The
would
lemon
be a
becomes
great whiskey
enhanced.
sour.
The lemon becomes enhanced. The ryegrass takes a step back.
Yep.
And then on the finish, you get that
Pepper.
pepper, I'm leaning towards kind of a cardamom next because I'm still getting a little of that citrusy spiciness on the side of my tongue. Then with some oak. But it's a sweet oak. It's not a bitter tannic oak.
Nothing bitter about this one.
Yeah.
All right.
So let's clear our palate a little and then let's try it for pecan.
Brought the oak out for me.
Yeah, it does. Which you would think, the pecan usually does bring out oak because, pecan has tannins in it. It brings out the tannins in the whiskey.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still not bitter. But it's a nice dry oak with a little bit of on the taste, I'm getting like a vanilla and a little bit of that peach. And then that cardamom spice.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of peach, I was getting a little of the banana.
Banana? Okay.
Yeah, I'm hitting the finish. It's weird because the mouth doesn't give me a lot. Gives me a little bit of citrus, and then a slight bit of caramel and oak. But mostly that finish is just where it's at with the pecan for me. It's a strong oaky finish, just almost like. That's all I'm.
Yeah,
that's all I'm getting.
I'm still getting finish now.
Yeah. So it's very. The length of the finish is pretty good on this one.
So I think we've picked 3 very good, underappreciated whiskeys here, and thank you all for joining us. And until next time, cheers.
Cheers.